All right, so this week we got first game. It's going to be Josh Green's. It's all about luck, wait, who? And stop being a Kittle Mitch, Josh Pilgrim's team. So let's look at the matchup, and I'll give you my thoughts on who I think wins the head-to-head in each position, and then who wins the head-to-head overall. So Derek Carr versus Cam Newton. I think that's actually a little bit more fairly split than it looks. Derek Carr played well. Kansas City's defense is not amazing. They gave up a lot of yards and really more points than they should have against a backup quarterback in Jacksonville. And they played good on offense, really good, but too good. I mean, they're not going to be on the field very long. I feel like they're going to run over the Raiders' defense, and Derek Carr's going to have to throw a lot to get out of that. And I don't see him throwing a lot of turnovers the way he played in Denver. Cam, on the other hand, his shoulder is still a concern. McCaffrey's a bell cow, man. He's going to freaking go off on Tampa Bay. I still like the matchup really well for Cam. If he does anything, he's going to absolutely roll over Tampa Bay. Make no mistake, the Panthers are going to destroy the Bucs and throw up 30+. But how much of that's going to be McCaffrey? How much of that's going to be Cam versus, Derek Carr's got a rookie running back right now. I'm seeing a lot more offensive production for this week out of Derek Carr than I am Cam Newton. So next up, we've got Todd Gurley versus David Johnson. Similar scenario, talent-wise, I'm definitely going Gurley. But I think Josh's team here, on the road, David Johnson, rookie quarterback, you're going to want to establish the run early. Now, Baltimore knows that, and they've certainly got a better defense than New Orleans does. But, right now, David Johnson's not splitting time, man. He's 3 down back. Todd Gurley with the potential, split time with Malcolm Brown. I'm feeling David Johnson in this matchup, but, potentially a thin margin. All right, Tariq Cohen and Dalvin Cook. This one's interesting. This one's really interesting. Both on the road. The thing that for me puts Cook over the top, right? And I'm talking, and we're talking like 5 points, right? Because I'm actually really high on Cohen, especially in this league, PPR league. He catches a lot out of the backfield. He's good for big explosive play. Look for him to have at least 150-yard plus touchdown probably next week. That's what I'm thinking. But for me, I'm thinking Dalvin Cook probably has a better game. Green Bay traditionally can't stop the Minnesota Vikings running backs, although they held Cohen and Montgomery to under 50 yards rushing last week. So, if Cook's going to look to excel, I think that he will have to do some catching out of the backfield, which he can do. But I give the slight edge to Cook simply because he won't be splitting time as much as Tariq Cohen will. Slight edge to Dalvin Cook. Next up, we got Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods. We can move past this one real quick. Tyreek Hill is not there. Robert Woods has 2 other receivers who are on par with him. Sammy Watkins wins this matchup in a landslide. Tyrell Williams versus Chris Godwin. Honestly, if he keeps Chris Godwin in there, I think Williams probably wins that matchup. If he goes with Tyler Boyd instead and changes his flex, which, Josh, I already mentioned this in your video, but I highly recommend you do. I'm picking probably Boyd. Cincinnati against San Francisco. Kansas City's not a good defensive team, but, it is Kansas City and it is Oakland, right? Traditionally, that's probably going to be a bloodbath. Going Kansas City's way, and versus Cincinnati, which kept it real versus Seattle, and they were able to score. AJ Green's out. Tyler Boyd looks to be the feature number 1 during that time, and Ross is a good complimentary receiver, but Boyd's still better. So I'm probably taking Boyd if that's the matchup. If it's Williams versus Godwin, I'm taking Tyrell Williams. Okay, next tight ends. Again, this kind of depends on what Pilgrim does with his lineup. I'm really waiting to see what he's going to do with the flex here because I can't believe it's going to stay Tyler Boyd. Can't believe Godwin's going to stay in there. Am I missing something? Do I not know who this guy is? He's like some sleeper or something? I've never heard of this guy. And all of a sudden he's, let me, hold on. I'm going to click on him right here. What's he projected? 13 points. Okay. He had a touchdown last week. Okay. Wasn't that his only touchdown? Like, that was Jameis Winston's only touchdown, though. I think, am I misremembering that? And Mike Evans is on the team. Bro, listen, Tyler Boyd, on the other hand, 8 catches, 60 yards. he's going to get a touchdown. John Ross went off, but it's going to even out. It's going to even out. Robert Woods, 8 for 70. So, look, Chris Godwin had a good game, right? But he's also on a short week. He's playing Thursday on the road with Jameis Winston as the quarterback versus Hockenson, who freaking went off with 25-plus points, right? And you may be tempted to start McLaurin. It was a good pickup, okay? Give it another couple weeks, okay? He's not Ross. He's not Ross, and he's not Hollywood Brown. Give him a couple weeks. See if he's the real deal. It's a good pickup. Don't get me wrong, Josh, but no, you should be starting Hockenson. You should be starting 2 tight ends. Like, I'm looking at your team. You need to start 2 tight ends. If you don't, I'm going to be really mad at you. But, yeah, so if it's Godwin versus Williams, I think, actually wins the matchup. Ertz versus Kittle. Kittle should still be your starting tight end. You know, if you start Hockenson instead, though, after the game he had, that's understandable. But just in terms of longevity and, like, consistency, obviously Kittle's the choice. But I think Zach Ertz actually outdoes them both. I really like the matchup that Zach has. It's prime time. Your boy, I'm like totally blanking on his name. Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz, man, that is the thing again. And it's prime time, baby. It's against Atlanta, whose defense sucked, man. It was so bad. I'm probably going to lean towards Zach Ertz in that matchup. Julio Jones versus what I can only assume will be Hockenson if he wants any chance of winning, because Julio Jones wins that matchup anyway. Whether it's Boyd, Hockenson, it doesn't matter. Julio Jones is not going to have 2 bad games like that in a row. And I get he scored a touchdown, but it was late. It didn't mean nothing. He's gonna score. I actually think the Atlanta-Philly game could be pretty high scoring. Neither of those defenses looked particularly impressive. Philly couldn't stop the Redskins, and Atlanta just got rolled over, man. Marcus Mariota versus Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, look, it's based off one performance, right? But also a couple other factors. Mitchell Trubisky's on the road at Denver. It's easier to throw the ball along in Denver, but it's also harder. I mean, it's not the environment that you want to be in as a quarterback necessarily. Tell that to Peyton, right? Through all those 50-plus touchdowns, but good quarterback can play there. But Mitchell Trubisky's not a good quarterback. Meanwhile, Marcus Mariota did great against what can only be described as a horrible performance by the Browns. Indy played well. Against the Chargers. That's who they played. They played Indy. They played well, but I would definitely look for the help on the defensive side of the ball if I'm Indy. I'm not feeling great. So Mariota could get some rushing yards. He's just got better talent around him too, I feel like. So I'm actually leaning towards Mariota on that game. And then Chargers-Texans, Josh wins this one. It's the Texans defense wins. Against this matchup. It's at home. It's against Jacksonville versus the Chargers on the road. I'm not feeling that. So, look, overall, I'm picking Josh to win. See what I did there? I'm picking Josh Green to win. I think Josh Green is going to win. One of these teams is going to start out 0-2. That's a big hole. But, hey, look, I've been there. I've been 0-2, and I've been 0-3. And let me tell you, you can get out of that hole. You can get out. It's going to be difficult. But just know that neither of you guys are going to win. Neither of you are going to win the whole thing. So it's not really that big a deal. But, Pilgrim, if you want a chance, start Hockenson. Start 2 tight ends this week, bro.